talk to someone else, cause I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boys. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boy. No. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to. That nigga's crazy. Hopping in, bitch, and I saw it to be. Snakes in the grass, so they harder to see. My brother would give up his life to the O. He told me he'd go be a martyr for me. Said that she ready to corner the 6. I hit up Pauline and charter the P. Ain't really leave, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm riding around in Atlanta with Sav, cause that nigga been going harder than me. Nothing to change, I'm just harder to please. Ferrari is making an SUV. We ain't got a choice, we ordering these. Shout out Noel for recording the V's. He know where this shit about to go. Cause nobody touching the flow. They say you alone at the top, but it's gotta be lonely below. You just getting ready to diss, but don't even mention the hoe. And don't even mention the foe, unless you was trying to go broke.
Whoa, I got more stripes than Adidas.
Yeah, I got the stripes, you fuck.
I don't chase bitches, I leave them.
Flow screaming like I'm
I don't get mad, I get even.
Bitch, you niggas like a puzzle.
I don't get mad, I get even.
Bitch, you niggas, then you.
Whoa, all that foundation she wearing, she think she QC. Telling I might sneak in you with me. You must be Coach K, cause you ain't P. I'm on the jet like my last name Lee. 2 sticks in my hand like I'm playing a Wii. G-Block babies will spank you for free. We rough niggas up, now they begging for peace.
Baby.
Stepping on shit out in front of my toe. Morning I told, I'm so OVO. Halloween coming, he wanna dress up, but he don't need no costume, I'm turning on ghosts. She called me mucus, I stay in her throat. Still hit that boy, got his ass hitting notes. My niggas were mad,
So you know where this shit about to go. Cause nobody touching the flow. They say you alone at the top, but it's gotta be lonely below. You just getting ready to diss, but don't even mention the hoe. And don't even mention the foe, unless you was trying to go broke. Oh damn, man, you niggas is the worst. Savage snatch you out your crib, then drop you in a hearse. Baby, please, bring me nervous. Stop reaching in your purse. Nigga went and bought a house when he could've bought a verse. Niggas dumb as fuck. Imagine if I did that stupid shit when I was coming up. My crib feel like a hedge fund. I be in here just thumbing up. No, I'm SM1 till I'm done fucking London up. Niggas made me nauseous. I had enough of broke boys.
What he said, what that mouth do? That mouth talk shit. Let me tell you something. This mouth talk a bunch of cash money caca. This mouth talk a bunch of shit. Yeah. This mouth is like a chomper. This motherfucker mouth bite. This mouth bite. I don't think you wanna get bit. I don't think you wanna get bit, sir. What that mouth do? That what that motherfucker do? That what that motherfucker do?
Shouts out to everybody in the building. What's going on? Late night session over at the LA Project. Shouts out to Witch Doctor for the redirect. Thanks for everybody in the building that watched us earlier on Tough Talk Thursdays. Shouts out to my other co-hosts for the evening, Mr. Izzy Bands and Mr. Unk B Streaming. Shouts out to them. We getting ready to start the show, y'all. Now, I know it was like a little, the topic, wasn't really, we wasn't really staying on the topic. We did touch the feminism versus the manosphere a little bit, but I wanted to kind of expound a little bit more. That was actually part of a stream that I did a week ago, and it's titled The Trick Bag, and pretty much how Black men and Black women got kind of suckered into these different movements that don't really serve us collectively, right? But tonight I wanted to talk about something different, because we always we want to know the bottom line when it comes to these relationship issues, right? Whether you be man or woman, what's the end goal, right? What do you want? You know what I'm saying? What do you want? We could start there, and if the requirements are reasonable, then, we can work off of something. But, from the men's perspective, it's feed me, sex me, be pretty, and bring me peace. But I feel like guys really want more than just that, than the 3 F's, the fit, friendly, and feminine. So we're going to get into that a little bit. All right, you guys are more than welcome to hang out with me. Let me see here. Who we got really quick? I shout out some people in the building. What's going on? Black and Proud. We got the cynical one in the building. Royce M. Barb is in here. DJ Witch Doctor. What's going on, y'all? Too Low Keezy. Let's get ready to start the show, y'all. Let's get into this content. Let's get into the discussion. I'm not going to plan on staying up late. It's already 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to get into this information, and I'm going to open up the panel to see exactly, what these ninjas really want. So let's get into the show. All right, let's go. Here's my show.
It's all about the journey. Where are you going? Fire in my eyes, I keep on growing. This is a little personal, the LA Project Show.
All right, y'all. We've been to get ready to start the show. I feel like some things are moved around a little bit up in here. I don't know if StreamYard did a little something, but let's go ahead and get this shit started. All right. Let me see here. All right, y'all. So let's get into this, right? So I know, here we go with the nonsense right here, man. But we know that y'all be running into so many other issues after y'all done fell in love, moved in, invested time, energy, blah, blah, blah. Maybe even had a kid. Now it's, I didn't know she was like this. Sir, what were you looking for? What was you looking for? Right? See, I get it. A lot of us women, our list can be, it can be rolled up like a scroll and release it and it goes all the way and hits the ground, right? I get it. The ladies list can be long, right? But can men just admit a little bit that their list is a little bit more extensive than they would like to admit? Are the only requirements for a mate to be chosen for marriage, legacy, and all the other good things? Are the only requirements for her to be fit, feminine, and friendly? Are there more things that we need to admit that men like to look for and need to express during the times of dating? See, I get it. A lot of men are not intentional about marriage. And that's what be pissing me off on the low, because when we have these conversations, you know what I'm saying, we waste hours on these panels talking about what would make the Black community more successful, right? But then when we get honest with ourselves and with each other, we find out that priorities are all mixed up, bruh. And I don't know who told who that you can't be real off rip. I don't care how crazy you might sound. Yes, what are you looking for? I don't have a problem with asking that when I date somebody. What are you looking for? Because I'm not trying to waste that type of time either. Now, we're going to spend some time, right? We have to. That's the only way that you can really get to know somebody. But however, there's some there's some things that we can do to prevent a lot of the rigmarole and snafus that we run into when it comes to these relationships, right? We can avoid some of these similar stories that we hear our homeboys and these celebrities and even certain movies, movie scenarios. We can avoid this stuff, man. But we got to be honest with ourselves. What are we prioritizing? So I want to just kind of focus on men for a little while, because I've been hearing, like, when we think about marriage, or when I think about marriage, I think about the commitment that's being made, about the institution of it all, the legacy that's being grown, the extension of the family, property, all that good stuff, right? So it's supposed to be for better, for worse. If it's not for better, for worse, then you definitely ain't gonna get to the finish line, all right? Because there's always gonna be something that jumps in your path that puts itself in your path that you have to jump over, should I say, right? But traditionally, since we talking about traditional marriages and situations, right? We talking about for better or for worse, rich or for poor, sickness and health, right? Not for slim or fat, young or old. It seems like it's kind of contradictory a bit when men want to be traditional when it comes to the roles and the things and the responsibilities that women need to take care of and take responsibility and be accountable for. But when it comes to them, not so much. Let's be honest tonight. And just to show you guys how much I care, I actually did some research, because in my opinion, you could say that, you want XYZ, you care about XYZ, but if you're not researching it, you're not looking into it, are you really that serious about it? Or are you just here to argue? I'm not here to argue. I'm here to learn. Okay? Because like I said earlier, we do not have time. Let's shout you out. Who else we got? Kasim in the building. What's going on? Big Giz up in this thing. Conservative. What's going on, sir? A-Dubski. Shouts out to the fam. Who else we got? Oh, it's okay. Cool as Chuck. What's going on, man? Miss Joy, I see you in the building, baby. Okay, so I get it. Men kind of, they've always said that y'all are very visual creatures, right? It's about what catches your attention, what catches your eye. Now, I'm not sure if y'all know this, but I mean, anything that is abnormal or, like I said, is eye-catching is going to make either a man or a woman's head turn to the left, right, center, or whatever, right? But for some reason, society has kind of given men the pass and just say, hey, they're just visual. That's how their brains work, right? But is it really enough to make a successful relationship, right? Because we keep hearing the divorce rates, right? The non-successful, babies are being made, but the unions are not. So there is a disconnect, obviously. Now, over time, especially because of, like I said, the way that people like to prioritize stuff, don't think that women have not gotten hip to the way that y'all like to select your mates. We understand that aesthetics are important, and that's why we use them. But there are things on the inside of this vessel that can be used and be seen as valuable as well. Not just looks, not just the genetics and the aesthetics, right? But yeah, we all know looks that's what gets you in the door. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't walk up to I'll just say an unattractive person, and just be like, hey, what's your name? That's not really how that works. They're going off of your vibe, how you present yourself to the world. And that's fair. But after that, what else are you looking into? What other questions are you asking yourself?
Doctor.
You know, women, we want to be noticed, right? But we also want to be seen as human beings. We want to be acknowledged and recognized for the other qualities that we have. And that was the motivation of me kind of even looking into the whole feminism thing, because like a lot of people complain about feminism, but really, like, if the whole goal was to empower and to give a disenfranchised group of people a little bit more of a chance or opportunity to have a better life, what's the problem with that? I didn't see the problem with it. Like I said, I actually, like, when I did my research, the men's movement had became a thing at the same time as the Vietnam War, and technically the second wave of feminism, because you guys know that, you know, we had to deal with women's suffrage, and definitely during this is, during the slavery times and all that stuff, because Black women, we had to remind society, and we even had to remind our white sistren, right, that we have to deal with a very unique set of circumstances, which include race, gender, and class. Very unique, very intricate set of circumstances in order to maneuver in these United States of America, man. I swear.
Doctor.
But that's what we had to go through. And when that whole movement started, we weren't thinking about leaving our men. We wanted to see how we can make our whole families pop off of the resources and the opportunities that we were being able to have for doing the same amount of work, putting in the same amount of effort. You know, there was people forget about Sojourner Truth's poem, Ain't I a Woman? Because again, Black women had to work side by side ever since the beginning of history. Y'all can even see it depicted, you can call it fiction or whatever, 12 Years a Slave. Lupita, even though she wasn't a big woman, 500 pounds of cotton. And Ain't I a Woman? There was a difference for the reason why we got into the movement. Now, I understand that it progressed, it turned into different things, but men were right there with us in step when it came to that second wave. This was roughly around 1968, 1970s, things like that, where both men and women at that time, you know, this is the free love movement, right? But everybody was on some other shit. They were tired of societal pressures. Both men and women were tired of what society deemed as being manly or what women should do. Everybody was tired of it. The second wave of feminism and the men's rights movement was right side by side. However, the difference was the men's rights movement did not encourage or invite Black men. So the Panther Party became a thing. Fight the powers that be, right? Because they wouldn't let y'all in. And that was the difference. We were at least able to sit at the table and negotiate. We understood that we wasn't going to be seen as equal, but we wanted something. We would rather come back with something than sit, do nothing, and get nothing. The type of prizes you get depends on the type of games you want to play. We all know this, right? But anyway, I feel like men, like I said, have a more of a standard than they would like to admit. It's more than just fit, feminine, and friendly. It's about your personal vision, how you see that woman or how you want to see that woman, how you want to be able to treat that woman because she's yours, right? Husband and wife, that whole property thing. I mean, Black people didn't really appreciate that back in slavery, but I mean, hey, what do I know? Anyway, it just reminds me of just different things because, you know, every man is not the same, and every man does not require or want the same things from a mate or out of their mate, right? So I think and individualism is a slippery slope. Everything kind of has like a duality to it. But individualism doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. I can live for myself, or I can literally just be myself while living with you. But the question is, can you accept me the way that I see myself? I'll give you an example. And I appreciate, you know, shouts out to everybody in the building, you know what I'm saying? This hair, I get compliments on it. No, it is not a weave. It is, ain't no bundles in this shot right here, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's not really conducive to my lifestyle. I'm a very laid back person. I'm a very active person. I sweat easy. I live in the South. I want locks. That's what I want. I've been wanting them for years. Just with this link, I know I gotta save up some money to get all of this locked up because I really don't want to cut it off just to have it locked up. If you know what I'm saying, right? Maybe that's a little selfish. I'm trying to keep all my inches. But I remember talking to or attempting to get to know a gentleman. And, you know, my hair is like this when he meets me pretty much. And we were talking and getting to know each other. It seemed just really, it just seemed easy, you know, like the questions, we would really seem to be concerned and interested in like the things that we were asking about, you know, whether it be our childhood or, you know, growing up or where we're from or whatever. Everything was just lit, right? So I remember telling, you know, basically sharing this idea with him, or basically this notion that I wanted to get my hair locked. And this, I'm talking, and this is, I didn't even know this, but this is one of these New York Grand Rising Queen type dudes, right? So I'm like, oh, well, shoot, me telling him I want locks, that really shouldn't have been no problem. But his response, well, I don't really like locks. I think they look dirty.
Doctor?
Damn, dirty? You think locks look dirty? I'm from DC. And damn, see, y'all are some awesome bullshit right here. But see, that's what I'm saying. But locks are beautiful. What's wrong with locks? You don't know what, man, if I put some braids in my hair, just braids, just having that type of, I've had faux locks before. They look beautiful. But I want to lock my hair. And I pretty much was told, well, I should think about what the men like, not what I like, not what I want. This is what the Grand Rising Queen Nigma told me. Yeah, Izzy, I'm taking that. Nigma is my joint now. So it's crazy how some men, they say that they want a natural woman, right? No additives, no preservatives. I don't know any, and they love a black woman with long hair, right? But they don't understand that this is not the climate for that bullshit, okay? We're just now getting products and the know-how to actually help in our hair thrive and even just survive in this climate. Okay, so I want my black woman to be natural. However, I want her to look European at the same time. It's some craziness, and y'all niggas need to check that shit. Check yourselves, okay? They don't understand. They used to say that black women's hair couldn't grow. But when black women lock their hair up, it comes all the way down to their waist and more. How can that be dirty? How can that be ugly? How can that be undesirable? How can that be something? How can my hair that sits and grows out of my head be something that I need to get? Well, I need to see what the men like. And what? So every time that I meet another nigga, I'm like, okay, so y'all cool with wigs then? Okay, so I can have the bob, I can have the long joint, I can have the little Spanish wavy, I can have the, the kinky curly, I can have all that shit in the same week, and you shouldn't be able to say much because it's confusing. That's why this stream is important, because I know it's more than just fit, feminine, and friendly. Y'all want more. Be honest. Stop making it seem like women are the ones that are just so complicated and delusional to act like we don't have a type. Everybody has a type apparently, but men are the only ones who are allowed to really voice that opinion. They feel entitled to get that opinion, or to get what they want. They want to build a bitch. And if they can't, they think that, there's so many other good women that are just out there on trees that I can just go out there and get another one. All right, homie. Do what you do. You tell me how that works out for you. However, there's a lot of confusion that's going on. Now, you know me, y'all. I got to look at both sides of things. All right. So we going to pull up something in terms of some clips and everything, because we got to get down to the bottom of this. Well, what these niggas want from me, you know what I'm saying? What they really want from me. Somebody let me know, because we can't keep on with this silent, I expect this person to read my mind bullshit, and then when this person has a discrepancy or does something that I don't like, and I knew these women were bullshit, I knew these men. No, you weren't being clear and you weren't being honest, my love. And that is the real. So that's just all it is. People need to be fucking real. It's funny because and I don't even mean to bring it up, but man, I be hearing the craziest conversations. If a woman has a child, in a relationship that man sees her gain weight because of a child that she had for him. If she feels comfortable with her extra little baby weight and he doesn't, they said that they would leave. Again, I thought this was for better or for worse, or is that only vows that women are supposed to take? Now, see, I'm not a big Bible person, so I'm not even going to get into all of that. However, it's like I said, the select scriptures and the select points, the select stats, it's all confirmation bias, bro. Y'all can call it what you want, but I'm grown, so you can't tell me too much. You feel me? You can't tell me too much. Oh, does Hood want to get? Yeah, he might want to get motherfucking blocked or timed out for a second. You're not gonna tell him. It's so funny. See, and this is another thing. Guys come over here just to tell me, the host, the channel holder, to shut the fuck up. I think I'm gonna shut your ass up. How about that? Because I already heard you on another stream say, you know what? Like, this is not even the women's fault. It's the men. I gotta admit, it's the men. Don't make me pull it up, nigga. Your grifting ass. Don't tell me to shut up on my own channel. That's what you don't get to do. And that's the problem with patriarchy, because just because a man has his sexual organs hanging out on the outside does not mean that you get to just be right. That y'all sound like white men at this point. I'm white, so it must be right. I'm white, so it must be right. Yeah, bruh. See, I hang out in the clouds too much, and I spend a lot of time by myself. So my impersonations be on. He's on it, okay? Have people rolling in the back chat. Anyway, shit be crazy. These people ain't being honest, and they want to sit here and blame other people for their shortcomings and their have-nots. So let's take a look at some things, man. I'm finna shake this shit up, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. But real quick, let me shout out really quick. Let me check, make sure, because I did see a notification come through on my phone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You already know, Doc. We going. You know what I'm saying? We going. We going up. Appreciate the Cash App. Let's go ahead and celebrate. Get back to the show, y'all. If y'all would like to support the channel, it is $ the LA Project on Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. Appreciate the support, y'all.
We humble as a bumble in the middle of the jungle. We got problems and we fumble and we stumble, but we don't grumble. All we do is hustle, and you the reason that we on our way up. You the reason, 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 you the reason. As a bumble in the middle of the jungle. We got problems and we fumble and we stumble, but we don't grumble. All we do is hustle, and you the reason that we on our way up. You the reason, you the reason, you the
reason. All right, appreciate the support, man. Let's keep going with the show. So again, if the expectation is for women to constantly adapt, mold, and shape themselves for depending on what man they stand in front of or whatever man they want to choose them. What the hell? See, the last time I checked, even though guys like to be able, they say they want to control, or have a little bit of handle on their woman, but at the same time, y'all know y'all love a toxic chick. Y'all like a chick with a little bit of backbone. You like a chick, with some standards and some boundaries. Stop playing. You would not respect any woman who would just, whatever you like, whatever type of food you like. Like, you would not like that, man. You want a chick that's actually going to stand up for herself, because when she goes out into the world, don't you want her to stand up for herself in your absence? Or you want her to be nice and submissive to every man that she meets? Appreciate that, Miss Joy. I made it myself. But yeah, come on now. This was way more that men enjoy or want to look for in a potential mate than just those 3 F's, man. You want a chick who's, like I said, that you can trust to handle herself when you're not around. Like I said, I'm not a biblical person, so I'm not going to bring up the Adam and Eve crap, okay? I'm going to let the religious people have that. But, nonetheless, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? I think that, like I said, a woman who, of course, is she going to treat you different than she treats the rest of the world. But at the same time, you want that woman to have just a little cayenne pepper in it. You know what I'm saying? Just a little cayenne, just a little Louisiana spice. You feel me? Just a little bit, So you ain't always got to be defending her honor. You know what she's liable to do or what she's not liable to do. And God forbid, if something happens to you, you know that the family gonna be good because you're used to what she is prone to do and what she's not prone to do. What's going on, Nightish? Good to see you, bud. Yeah, so I wanted to bring up some things. Like I said, I'm finna be a little extreme tonight. I don't care because, like I said, people need to start being a little bit more honest and stop putting it on women. Like, oh my God, they just have this long laundry list of things that they want, and all I just want them to do is just be cooperative and no, the fuck you don't. Because like I said, I'm gonna show y'all some stuff. Give me a second. My algorithm is different. You know what I'm saying? So. First of all, let's take a look at just some examples. Give me a second. Let's see. If I were to say anything about the patriarchy, right? My main complaint would be that it just breeds entitlement, right? Like, okay, check this out. If you were just born, right? You're just born and you're given a good life. You don't really have to do much. You actually have other people that you can tell to go do shit for you. And there's nothing really that you have to do besides exist in order to get this type of treatment, right? Do you think that person's going to be any type of go-getter, any type of have any type of real character or any type of wherewithal of how to deal or treat people with decency or respect after they've been given all these things after doing nothing for it at all? They were just born. They were just born a certain way, and that's all they did. Do you think that they would be able to handle all of that? Or do you think they would just be ruthless, cruel, and unempathetic towards other human beings because they were given things without them having to do anything for it? To me, that's what modern patriarchy is like. Because every man, and I've heard this, so please, fellas, do not dispute me on this. You could be talking to a man, I ain't like those other niggas. Ain't no guy that you're talking to like any other nigga, right? Until you start talking to him and you be like, this shit sound real familiar. Y'all are the same strangers up in this. Like, a lot of men are very similar. Y'all don't like to be compared to each other at all. However, when it comes to, men in general, we just want you to just be cooperative. No, y'all are different. Y'all all are different. Y'all need to be more honest. Okay? Be more like us. Put your little, put yourself out there. Y'all be saying fuck them if they don't like you anyway. So shoot, just go ahead and tell her how you feel. What's the worst that can happen? But let's take a look at an entitled gentleman really quick. And y'all tell me, because I'm telling you, man, like, no guy has a crazy homeboy or any guy friends that do anything degenerate or no, that's shoot. I don't know niggas that shoot that. None of my friends do. Okay, well let me show you what these like I said, what patriarchy has done to a lot of these dudes who feel like now they deserve X, Y, and Z. All right, let me turn this music down just a little bit and let me get this video pulled up for y'all. What's this song? How come I can't hear it? Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Oh, there it goes. All right, let me pull this up really fast. And let's hear again, gentlemen, evaluate your brother, you know what I'm saying? And y'all tell me if he's being realistic in terms of his demands and what he thinks he deserves in his life from a woman. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Where am I at? Oh, there we go. All right, shouts out to Kendra G. This is probably a vintage clip. I don't even know when this was taken, but shoot, she got so many of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go wrong. So let's go ahead and get this started. Let me turn the volume up. So this gentleman, he wants a woman who will do 50-50 and it's non-negotiable, okay? So let's go.
I'm 44 years old.
44. And what you do for a living?
I work at Walmart. I'm a cashier.
Okay.
All right, so he's 44, cashier at Walmart. Now, nothing wrong with that. You get your paper, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do something. Like I said, something is better than nothing. But let's continue to hear exactly how he's gonna justify. Well, the cashier at Walmart part, honestly, that's probably a reason why he want that 50-50, because I don't think they get paid too much. However, let's hear the reasoning behind why he wants this arrangement, or feels like he deserves this arrangement in his life.
What's deal breakers?
Okay, deal breakers. What you mean? Prescribe that to me.
Something.
Sorry, guys, really quick. Nigga. Oh my God. Hold on. Already, he said, red flag, what you mean? Again, fellas, what are y'all doing when y'all walk out the house? I know you take a shower, you know what I'm saying? You shit, shower, shave, you put some decent clothes on, you know what I'm saying? You make sure you got all your personals with you, you know, to deal with the day, your ID, your wallet, your cell phone, your Thule, whatever you got for whatever your little kit is for the day. But what else do y'all be like? Are y'all intentional at all? This nigga said, goodness, he said, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by red flags? Like, he never heard of what a red flag was. This might be a part of what the problem is, because like I said, niggas want more than fit, friendly, and feminine. And we about to get to the bottom of it real quick in a very roundabout, nonsensical, non-logical, non-manly way. But let's do it anyway.
Something that you will absolutely not date.
Oh, a gold digger.
Gold digger, okay.
I don't like a gold digger. And I love for a woman to have her own.
Okay.
When I fit...
Another red flag, because what constitutes a damn gold digger? You know, if the woman has to be, you know, according to society, the nurturer, provider, the nurturer, and the helper, and all this other subservient bullshit, right? Okay, so I could have swore that men were supposed to protect and provide, but this man off rip is talking about, oh, I need her to have her own. I can't stand no gold digger. Like, he is not trying to protect or provide for nobody, apparently. And I don't know what his name is, but like, bro, again, if this is your attitude and you want to go with traditional roles and all this other stuff, and you expect that from a woman, however, on your side, the expectations are not to provide because she got to bring half. And your protection is what? Just the fact that you have height and a little bit more weight on you than she does? Bruh, you got to come harder than you got to come with a little bit more qualifications than that, sir.
Fit the bill, she fit the bill too.
What you mean? So you want to go 50-50?
Yeah, that's what I mean. If she ain't going 50-50, then it ain't no relationship. If she don't know how to cook meals, it ain't no relationship.
You know,
see, already, like I said, she don't know how to cook meals. Okay, but you can't even fucking provide, nigga. I gotta go out, bust my ass, and get half. Have another boss be submissive to a whole nother man, i.e. my boss, then come back home to you and cook and pay half of the bill. See, this is now we getting some honesty. Is that a part of the friendly aspect, the cooperation aspect, where, oh yeah, she goes out and works and she gives me, she pays half the bills, but I'm the provider, I'm the shot caller, but she pay half. Like, the fuck? How does that doesn't even add up, my guy.
A lot of women don't want to go 50-50, Orlando.
What's wrong with them then?
He was looking dead ass serious. Hold on. He said, what's wrong with him then? He said, what wrong with him? with them. He said, what's wrong with them if they don't want to go 50-50? This is hilarious. Okay, I can't rewind apparently, so I'm gonna have to try we're gonna have to try our best to listen to his responses, and I'll try my best to repeat what he says and react to it.
Woman don't want a good man?
He said a woman don't want no good man. Now this good man that's on the screen right here is requiring a woman to go 50-50 with his ass. Now, he hasn't substantiated what makes him a good man. He's 44, cashier at Walmart, and has no intentions of providing for a woman, but considers himself a good man at the same time. It's interesting.
I'm a good man.
All of y'all are.
Break down what a good man is.
A good man is when he don't cheat on his woman. He show her things that he's doing on his phone.
First, I'm sorry, really quick. I'm gonna need him to get his closet doors on the hinges, because I know y'all done had a cheap ass apartment or something like that. You know, they had that clapboard for fucking closets, and it missed the track a little bit. You can see it right there. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like synonymous to the fire alarm chirp, man. Line that up. You talking about you deserve a woman, you a good man.
He's open with her. You know, like I say, he don't have a good man don't supposed to have nothing from a woman.
Okay, so you don't hide anything.
No.
But he gotta go half on the bills.
I mean, I can go half on it.
But you're not doing 100%.
I mean, if she ain't 50.
And my question is he not currently paying 100% of his own motherfucking bills? Like, what difference would it make if you brought somebody? See, it's the convenience of it all. And I said this in an earlier chat because it is an actual stat, okay? Most men who enter relationships do not be in a certain tax bracket, you know, like you're just average, you know what I'm saying? Just like a single person, you know, not poverty line. But usually when men get married and they get that joint income, that's when they become middle class. They don't ask women to marry them when they're already at that bracket. They get to that bracket after they get married. There's a lot of other, you know, those types of benefits when it comes to just stability and having just an extra income. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that part, but like, again, like if you was by yourself, I mean, well, first of all, this is assuming that he's living by himself. I don't know. Maybe he has a roommate or something. I don't know. But if you living by yourself, then you already paying 100% anyway. So bringing in somebody else, especially when you are expecting certain societal rewards for being a man, but you don't want to do what society says a man should do, it's just confusing to me. But let's continue with the review. This man is confused, but we'll let him speak his mind.
50-50, I can't do it.
Woo! Let's do the Kendrick King. This is when you stand up and we see your full body.
I don't want to see my full body. I'm skinny as hell.
No.
This nigga. Not only is he like running away from the protector and provider role, but he don't know what red flags mean. And she asked for a whole body. She wanted to see what he looked like in terms of his build, and this nigga lifted his shirt up. Oh my God. I'm glad y'all missed that. Nobody said nothing crazy in the chat. All right, let's go.
Not like that, Fernando.
Man, look.
Why you think you've been single for 15 years?
Because it's nothing. It's like ever since I left that relationship, it's been nothing for me.
The other women don't want to go 50-50?
No, they just want to get drunk and spend other people's money. That's the way it's going.
Yo, look at the grill, shouty. Yikes. Like, he got as much gums as he got teeth, goddamn. Like, is this one of those Halloween props? Like the vampire joints? I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be mean, but damn. See, they do telling certain women, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they look a certain way, they don't need to be picky. This nigga don't need to be as picky as he definitely doesn't need to be asking for no 50-50 looking like that. Shit. Look at Kendra's face. Look at her face. She was like, oh wow. Whoops.
It's gold, nigga. See?
Wrong button. She was shocked, just as shocked as I was, child. I was like, oh my Lord.
Ooh, 3 flaws you have to work on.
Like, what you mean?
3 flaws, like 3 things.
Now this nigga don't know what flaws are. Oh my God. So I know he don't think that he perfect. Either that or he just don't know what flaws mean. I'ma just say he don't know what flaws mean.
Things you can improve on.
Like, give me a perspective, you know.
3 things that you can get better at.
Better at what? Like, what do you mean?
Yo, Black Beauty, this nigga's a genius. He's on Kendra G's show, you know what I'm saying? And he sit here saying what he want from a woman. So she asked him to do the Kendra cam, you know what I'm saying? She was like, I need to see your whole body. And this nigga lifted his shirt. That's why you saw the nipple. I'm sorry. He thought that it was appropriate to do that, you know what I'm saying? But I think his comprehension is just low. You know, like I said, he don't know what red flags are. He don't know what flaws mean. Like, but he won't 50-50. Like,
I got a question I want to ask you. Have you ever thought about being a radio announcer?
Now, I believe that Kendra has actually worked in radio or media or something like that. She's got a great media voice, right? But obviously this nigga didn't know anything about her. He just knew she had a popping channel and wanted to come up there, possibly get hooked up with little to no effort, you know, because he's talking through a third party. But, you know what I'm saying? He's complimenting Kendra on her voice, not knowing that that's where she came from, but she came from radio and stuff. But anyway,
a radio announcer, like, you know, like a radio announcer, DJ the music. Okay, you could be a good DJ, a radio announcer.
I'm so glad she let that nigga go, man, because again, you have to be a complete fool. You ain't do no research on the person that you was talking to or nothing. Hold on just a second, y'all. Let me see something. What just happened here? Why does it do this? Give me a second, y'all. Not that one. All right, layouts are jumping around on me here. I'm like, what in the world? All right, let's keep going. So yeah, she had to just hang up on that nigga, like, for real, because again, he ain't do no research. He ain't know what anything meant. He was looking like that and asking for all of that. I mean, can we honestly say that women are the only delusional ones on the planet or in the dating game at this point? So let's move on. Again, I don't know why most people don't want to have these types of conversations. I get it. They're not really they can put you out there, make you look a certain way or whatever. Honestly, I wouldn't give a damn. I need to know what I need to know right now. You know what I'm saying? Or as soon as possible. If you have a couple, 2 or 3 years to waste trying to get to figure out if you like somebody and then spend the next year and a half remembering all the fucked up shit they did to you, by all means, waste that for potential 5 years. But if you would like to save some of that time, go ahead and ask some of those uncomfortable questions up front. Okay, it'll do you good. It'll do you good. Now, there's been another, and I'm glad that it's being looked at right now, but there's another concept that's being looked at right now in terms of how unrealistic or just exactly what people mean when they say they want their spouse to be their peace in the relationship. Because peace, first of all, is subjective, I think. I mean, there's a universal definition for it, but some people are a little bit more extreme. They need a little bit more. Some people need a little bit less. You know what I mean, right? But when you say be my peace, I'm really glad that people are starting to talk about this, because that's something that comes from within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Something you have to, when you don't have anybody else to talk to, call. You might be brand new to a state. Let's just say that you join or enlist to the Army. You definitely don't know anybody. You have to be able to bring yourself some type of comfort, some type of calmness, some type of just stillness, some peace, right? You shouldn't be going into a relationship expecting your partner to be something that be something that you are depending on. I mean, this goes with finances or whatever. I mean, again, it's even like with the last video with the whole 50-50 thing. It's like, dude, like, what was you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you were single, were you not paying for everything 100%, or have you like always had a roommate type of deal? Like you should be prepared or be able to take care of, and provide, if that's the type of role and the type of respect and title that you want to have in this world. But half stepping, you know what I'm saying? Just, oh, well, this is my woman, and because I'm the man, and this, that, and well, what are you doing for said woman? You know what I mean? Because if she's doing just as much as you, she's got as much say as you do, technically. Like, I don't understand how this shit works. Like, how you gonna be dependent halfway on your spouse, but you want to call all the shots, and you want to, be held in high regard and be respected and all these things. I'm not saying that you shouldn't respect your spouse. However, those old school 1950s, 1940s dynamics is not going to work. You know what I mean? If that's how you really coming. You know what I'm saying? If you're a person who can't handle a family or handle a woman, or, like I said, extend yourself to somebody else 100%, like, then just say, hey, like, I'm looking for a partner. Say it. I know men hate that word, that partnership shit, but that's what a lot of y'all need, and that's what a lot of y'all want, because a provider provides. They don't say, hey, babe, well, the light bill just came in, you got your $49.50. They're not saying that. They're not saying that. So the whole peace thing, I think is a very delusional thing. And I think men need to be a little bit more honest on that. Either what they mean, or they need to be honest on what they're missing in their lives. What they can't give themselves, what things need to be worked on. And even if it calls for some therapy or whatever, because, shit happens. A lot of residue, a lot of experiences, especially from our childhood, shape us in the way that they, you know, that we are now. A lot of people that I see it manifest in like abandonment issues, and you know, these people who just feel like, you know, they have this cult mentality when it comes to YouTube and the crews and, you know, who's with who and all this other stuff. To me, it's the same type of thing. These people are like, they got something from back there about being abandoned or whatever. Because you see me up here, I mean, shoot, even right now, I'm an hour in, I'm riding Dolo. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I love about the people that I hang out with, because they can hold their own. They don't need a panel. They don't need, you know what I'm saying, a whole bunch. They can talk they shit, you know what I'm saying, and substantiate and stand on it however they need to. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. But yeah, you shouldn't be looking externally for peace at all, because that definitely comes from within. And when you're looking for something, or when you have something that is missing in you, you know, whether it be you want attention, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're afraid of people leaving you, or if somebody does leave you, you think it, you know, that they're the worst person in the world, when really they're just doing something maybe that they have to do for themselves. Maybe they're saving you from something, but you just, oh, this person left me. Like, that type of stuff is kind of it needs to be reevaluated. You know, because if you, I mean, you can get a lot of things from the opposite, you know, from your partner that you probably didn't know how to give to yourself. But again, what if that person isn't there one day? Then what are you going to do? You got to be able to maintain yourself in some type of way. Now, there's some things that I do suggest men do, like, stop thinking that toxic shit is cute. It's not. Okay, it might be spicy and fun, and it keeps you, you know, like, it keeps everything kind of exciting or whatever, but if you're talking about really like getting with somebody and considering them for a future, like, stay away from problematic women. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from toxic women, people who think it's, go out of their way or do things, extreme things to try to get your attention. Stay away from that shit. Stay away from it. And if you are gravitated towards that, then again, you got to ask yourself, why do you need things to be shooken up every once in a while? Because when you add in somebody else into the mix, you don't know, you know what I'm saying, what type of crazy they gonna try to involve you in, because everybody's crazy is a little bit different. And if it's if it's your car, your house, your, some people, they don't give a damn because it's your stuff and it's not their stuff. Stay away from the toxic people, man. Like, or just admit that you like toxic chicks. Don't say that, well, these women are toxic. These women are crazy. No, y'all like that shit. Because a crazy chick always stays with a man. It seems to be the trend anyway. That's just not cute. The women who really get over in the scene, that's what's so discouraging and disappointing sometimes, because those women, everybody is not, man or woman, everybody is not as secure in themselves as they end up being in time, right? So when you're younger and you want to be partnered up with someone and you want to be married and you want to have a future, and all that good stuff, right? Unfortunately, that's usually when niggas be looking for toxic shit. And the safe girl who goes to school or, just has her 9 to 5 or whatever, she's boring. You know what I'm saying? I can't see myself doing this forever. Like, so you want to risk going to jail and shootouts and, because it just, but she made me feel alive. Again, ask yourself, what is wrong with you? What is wrong? And I'm not saying it in a derogatory way, but like, that's not normal. Most people just want consistency in their life. You know what I'm saying? They want to whatever their routine is, they want that shit to stay as consistent, just as consistent as possible. They know what to expect from their partner, and if anything is out of the ordinary, then it's like, okay, we need to be moving right now, because something's not right. He should have been home right now. You know what I'm saying? The quicker that you act on stuff like that, the better, right? So I don't know. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with consistent or boring. Just like I said, but inside these four walls that we call a home is going to be a whole different world. It's not going to be boring. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we're not going to involve a whole lot of outside factors and a whole lot of outside people, because that's when things get sticky. You know what I'm saying? You can't control all that stuff. You damn sure can't. You can hardly control your partner. You know what I mean? You can let them know exactly where you are so they can, fall back and get in line or whatever, but you can't control them for real. So just imagine constantly going out, constantly being in the public. Like, it's just so many other factors that you're adding in to that situation. Ain't nothing wrong with boring. Let me flip my page. All right. So I had a question. How important is a person's past? I had this conversation with a guy friend, actually, and it was interesting because from his perspective, he was saying that basically, people need to, I guess, how they say water rises at its own level, right? So, like, a person who comes from a two-parent household dating a person who didn't come from a two-parent household, there's going to be some differences there, right? Because the person who comes from the two-parent household, who's seen the dynamics between a husband and a wife, right, versus a person who hasn't seen that dynamic between a husband and a wife, and now they're trying to come together and be a husband and a wife. Sometimes, and I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes it can cause problems, because we learn a lot about men, women, relationships, and all that stuff just by what we observe in our own household growing up. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was kind of interesting when me and my guy friend were talking about this, because that's something that he's actually started to pay attention to himself when it comes to dating. He asks those types of questions, and I'm just like, you know what? That is a really good idea, because I mean, you can't speed up the process of actually getting to know that person inside and out, but at least we can ask some preliminary questions before you would introduce me or expose me to your family and stuff like that. So what type of household did you grow up in or grow up around? Because generational curses and different cycles and things like that are real, especially in the Black community. We're not used to, we're just now getting into therapy. Before now, this current generation, Black folks didn't believe in mental health and depression and disorders, and they didn't believe in that shit, and bad things would happen, and guess what? You got to keep going on tomorrow. So there was no therapy. Give me 1 second, y'all. But we got to stop thinking about, just like I said, what the person looks like and how they make us feel. Like, if our main complaint is about the success rate of our families, in our community, for, making sure our children have a steady and consistent village to be around, upbringing, all that stuff. I think that some of these questions are very, very valid. Because like I said, where does anybody learn anything? Like I said, by watching, for the most part, when it comes to social dynamics, because a lot of those things can't be taught unless you actually do them, right? So of course you can learn social skills when you go to school, go to college, you join different clubs, organizations, whatever. But when it comes to actually interacting with men and women, they don't have a class for that. So for most of majority of the time, the only way that we can really learn how those things go is by watching actual couples, you know what I'm saying, interact, and how they deal with things, how they delegate and divvy up responsibilities and the workload of the household, and their different interests, and how their partner or spouse supports or respects it, all those things, because you still got to remain yourself. That's what I'm saying. Individualism isn't necessarily a bad thing. You keep your hobbies, you keep your interests, you keep your sense of humor, you keep your spirit, you keep your light, because that's what ultimately that was the main thing that attracted your mate to you in the first place. So that's the thing that you need to keep intact the most, which is a part of individualism. Now, I don't believe in the extreme part, which is what most people want to focus on, but I think that people should have. That's a part of autonomy. Just because you partner with someone, it doesn't mean that the rest of the previous years of your life and everything else has to be wiped away and given up as that sacrifice. You're going to make other sacrifices, in that marriage, but your autonomy and yourself shouldn't be sacrificed. That shouldn't be. You should focus on finding a person who actually is okay with who you are. That should be the goal. And again, that's why I know it's more than just fit, friendly, and feminine. Y'all don't be afraid to be more specific. We were just talking about this earlier on Tough Talks. When Black men want to express themselves and they get told to, basically or get treated, or it just gets responded to negatively. In my opinion, that comes more from other men, or from, honestly, I know some women who are kind of like that, but it's because that's how we were taught that men, don't pick him up when he cried, just let him cry. Damn, I don't want to, but that's what they're telling me to do, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, women want to be there, we want to help, you know what I'm saying, we want to listen, but at the same time, like, y'all gotta believe that we want to, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta believe that we want to, because we would rather y'all decompress a lot of that stress than to take it out, to hold it in and take it out on the family. Okay? Please believe it. Believe it, please. So yeah, a person's past, I think, is a very important part of the situation, or should be, because how are you expecting a woman who's never seen a wife? How do you expect her to be a wife? Same thing with a man who's never seen a husband in the household. How do you expect him to be a husband? So we put these types of things on to each other, you know what I'm saying? Because we're just, for one, I really don't think that people know what they want. Two, I don't know if they're weary about expressing what they want, or they just expect other people to just know, which again is another delusional notion in terms of because who can read minds, man? If I could pick a superpower, I think I would pick read minds, to be completely, either that or teleport. I think I would probably rather teleport, because time is precious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, all this other stuff, like, people would be hurt my feelings and all that stuff, but it's not that big of a deal. And I wish that it wasn't this big of a deal for men as well. Like, just, and it's not like I got people in my DMs or knocking down my door. I'm okay with being me. You know what I'm saying? And I've been by myself. I've been single for a while. You know what I'm saying? So that's not the issue. Okay? Other people need to be more comfortable with themselves. Okay? Because like I said, if the whole goal is to have success and to have a more, better representation of who we are just off of face value, we need to be more diligent, man. We need to ask some more questions. And that's the moment when y'all need to say, fuck what anybody got to say. Because this is what I need to know. I don't care if it's the first week of us going like shit. Okay, I'm not trying to waste 2 weeks of dating. I'm not trying to waste a month of dating. When you just trying to have fun and I'm trying to lock something down. It's got to match up, right? So why not just go ahead and get it over with? Assuming, what these understandings and situationship what's that dumbass saying? What's understood doesn't need to be explained. Has it been understood though? That's the real question. Because again, we can't read minds and we can't assume, because you know what happens when you assume. You know what happens. So another thing that I keep hearing, when it comes to just what men expect or what they're looking for in the opposite sex is this whole, I don't know, like it just goes back to the aesthetic thing. They want the young one, the one that looks, a certain way or in shape, even though I thought it was for better or for worse. Again, maybe that's just something that women have to commit themselves to, and men can just be like, you know what, she ain't losing weight, I'm out this bitch. Like, damn. But dad bods are a whole thing. And when women get married to men, they don't really dictate what's for dinner. The men they want the fried chicken and the all the heavy stuff. They want steak and they want all the heavy stuff because yes, I finally have a chef. But then they sit there and they get fat. They come home from work, they sit down, they're sedentary, they're not active, and then they end up out of here before we are. You know what I'm saying? So really, if you want to help me, you want a wife, help that woman is your nutritionist. You go eat what I give you because this is what you need. We need to check that, keep your cholesterol and your blood pressure in check. Okay. No, we don't need to keep a cake or a pie in the house because diabetes runs in your family. I need you to be here, babes. Men don't be thinking about that. They get married, they be like, feed me, like, feed me, Seymour. Like, what was that? Little Shop of Horrors, you know what I'm saying? That y'all don't give a damn. Y'all just come home, sit down, eat, get that big belly, but then have the nerve to talk about how a woman's body looks after she gives birth to children. Like, that's just, I don't know, that shit kind of crazy to me. But again, these expectations, and then we wonder why the success rate is so low. The priorities and the way that people are looking at things and going about things is unrealistic, bro. It's unrealistic. It's unstacked. Nobody appreciated this shit. I'm gonna just go ahead and say, I don't like to assume, but I'm going to assume at this moment that, well, shouts out to Uncle Fatty. I know that he's not black, but I feel like the majority of these people, that are in my chat right now are African Americans. Did y'all appreciate back in the day, just because your skin was a certain color, that you were unqualified for certain things, just off rip? They're not going to ask you shit. They're not going to ask you to do nothing. They're not going to let you prove yourself. And even if you do prove yourself, it doesn't matter. You still look like this. Did you appreciate that? Why are black men doing that to women? Why? And even as the weeks unfold, what's going on, Truth? And even as the weeks unfold, we keep this Bible theory keeps on getting debunked over and over about the roles and responsibilities of man and woman. This birthright thing is bullshit, y'all. I haven't seen anybody substantiate this to it without me having any other questions to follow up. And y'all know I'll be having the questions. I'll be having questions because the shit don't be making sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then like I said, maybe they need to articulate it in a better way. But the shit just don't be adding up when it comes to these expectations, you know? But yeah, us as Black people, we did not appreciate being told that we were inferior or that our roles were a certain thing just because we were born a certain way. Black men need to stop treating Black women that way because y'all sounded just like them. You are. No, I'm just talking about all this, you know, these in terms of expectations when it comes to these gentlemen who just think they deserve a certain thing because they were born a male. So I put it into the perspective of when we were discriminated against in the heaviest of way. And it was Bible was used and social norms and, you know, perspectives and, you know, opinions were being used against us, right? To me, that's what it feels like when it comes to this whole gender war shit, because I don't see the proof. We can appreciate each other. We have great qualities in both the masculine and feminine, but we're not appreciating them shits. And we all have both of them in them. I'm a woman, but I got masculine in me. And just because you're a man don't mean that you ain't got no feminine in you. And it doesn't mean that it has to be in a derogatory or in a disrespectful way. But a man can be it's almost like saying that men can't be nurturing or can't be compassionate, can't be creative. That's your feminine side, bro. It's like I can be more tunnel vision. I can be, you know, I can kind of just keep the mission in mind. I don't want to say be numb, but just, you know, I can compartmentalize things. I can just, you know, I can do masculine things as well as being a woman and showing my soft side. So people, you know, they get caught up in all of this stuff, you know, all these labels and all this. It's just, there's no appreciation. People need to do more research on it, man. And stop getting caught up in their egos when it comes to this whole gender shit, because it's dumb. It's dumb. Men and women we're complex creatures. You know what I'm saying? We want and need a myriad of things depending on where we come from, where we started from, how much time and how much effort we actually put into ourselves to process the things that we've been through. And some of us need more time than others because some of us have to keep moving. We don't have time to stop. We don't have time to rest. But us Black people, we know that very well, right? We've never really had time to rest. And that's why I don't understand why we so hard on each other. We've been right there with each other through everything. There was no special part of town where the Black women's was taking over there where they had safe, nice places to live and discounted clothes and utility. No, this shit was a war field. You feel me? Just walking to work in the South or in certain areas were just as dangerous it was dangerous for men, Black men and women, man. We spent so much time away from our own households just to take care of our households. Why are we doing this shit? We just need to just be honest with each other. We all been through some stuff. So we need to stop acting like one is more of the problem than the other. Now, do we have things to fix? Yes. Yes, we do. But I think that we can be more honest with each other in terms of, like I said, what do you need from me? What do you need from me? To be honest. Because if I can give it to you, it's yours. But if I can't give it to you, then I'm gonna be honest with you at that moment as well, and let you find what you need to find. And it's okay. No love lost. But just these 3 F's, I know that's not enough. I want to start hearing some lists. I want to start hearing some lists, man, because I know, like I said, there's nothing like somebody, whether it be a man or a woman, who gets you, who just gets you. You can't even understand. That's pretty much like the main way that you can even like verbalize the connection. Man, this person gets me. They solid. Like, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't do too much. She's secure with herself. She has self-control. These things are important as well, but we never hear those things in terms of on these panels. And from, like, don't you think that, like, if a woman knew specifically what you wanted, what you needed, it'd be like, okay, either I need to figure out how to obtain those qualities, or at least like I said, I know I ain't for him, or yeah, we can probably rock together. You know what I'm saying? But all this vagueness of, oh, I just need you to be fit, and fit until when? Until I have 3, 4, 5 of your babies? What am I gonna look like then? You gonna leave me? What was the point of giving you all them kids? You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's too vague. I think men need to be more specific. They need to be more specific with what they want. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Because it doesn't seem like men even prioritize or even mention a connection with the woman. It's just more of what she looks like at the moment, what she could provide, and how she can help him look in public or to the rest of the world. Because that's definitely an aspect as well. We make y'all look so good. But vice versa, especially when you clean up nice or whatever. But especially these men who are have high ranking positions, they're CEOs and CFOs and this and the third. They're taking way damn near all of those positions are taken by married men, because that's what they respect. The president, we've never had a single president. The presidents have always been married. Okay. So there's a lot of appreciation that could be shown on both sides, but unfortunately, we got knuckleheads who sitting here sad and lonely, bitter and bitter and cynical and everything else. No, this is the cynical one, but yeah, bitter than a motherfucker, because oh my god, like, yeah, I'd like to tell this person how I really feel, but she probably gonna think I'm soft, so I'ma just act hard like the world told me to, fuck up the whole relationship, and then blame women moving here on out because I never vocalized what I really wanted or what I needed in the beginning. Y'all are crazy. What's up, Batty Reacts? Thanks for stopping by, boo. Y'all make sure to hit that like button on the way in. I don't even know what the likes are looking like right now. 16. Okay, yeah. 15. Come on, y'all cloud watchers. It's free. Ain't nobody gonna know that you liked the video. You can unlike it. I don't know. You just react to it. Helps put me in the algorithm, man. Regardless, don't sit up there and cloud watch. Anyway, I don't know. It's just, women, we get this label of, oh, she talks too much, and she wants too much, and her list is too long. She got too many demands. Men seem to hate standards and boundaries and stuff like that. But what's wrong with them? I think men should have more too. More of the, for themselves. As long as they're realistic and they make sense, yes, have them. They keep you safe, have them. Okay? Because I don't want to see anybody harmed in the name of attempted love. Okay? Because that's all that people want. People want connection. We need connection. Ain't nobody get nothing out the mud. Okay? We've always had a network of somebody. We've known somebody. Somebody's plugged us with something. Somebody's shown us something. They've taught us something. They lent us a couch. You feel me? They've done something. They've given us a ride. They've done something. Right? But for some reason, like I said, the way that people just be talking is just like, they act like they don't need anybody. Like, the last time I checked, straight, heterosexual men and women want the opposite. Like, I could have swore they did. So it's just surprising to me, like I said, all the extra, the negative rhetoric and the bashing and all this other stuff. It's like, you can have your negative experiences, but can you direct the heat and point the gun at the person who bust shots on you? Okay, because the rest of us are just catching strays. Y'all acting like school shooters at this point. Y'all don't care who gets hit. I've been hurt. Like, what? Is that how we dealing with the world? Is that how you want to be dealt with? That's more importantly, because we all know it don't really mean nothing unless it happens to us personally. So would you like to be done like that? Let's just go ahead and put those, put it in those terms, because I'm pretty sure the answer would be no. All right. So let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the bullshit. Again, women are not the only ones who want to express what they want. Women are not the only ones who have a sense of delusion. Women are not the only ones who have a fantasy of what they want in a person or what they want to see or have in their lives. But the whole point is, the difference is women are not afraid to communicate that shit. Y'all are. And because of that, there is some pretty big effects that happen because of it. It might not seem like it. I know society says that y'all can't feel nothing, but when you're at home alone at night and it's quiet and you laying there in the dark, boy, you get lonely. You get lonely. That's all I'm gonna say right now. It's getting late, y'all, and I'm getting a little loud. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. We're gonna finish this tomorrow because I do have a very interesting video that I wanted to add with this one. But again, we did the tough talk. All right, I did this one. This was a nice introduction. Next show, we're gonna show the video, and I'm gonna open up the panel to get some more guys. Just get some of y'all's actual opinions on it. The chat was a nice test run. I had to test the waters real quick because y'all know how y'all niggas like to do, man. I try to maintain my femininity, but y'all like to try to Donkey Kong on any random woman that you see. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that tonight. So I am gonna go ahead and wrap this up. But again, fellas, let us know what you need. Let us know what you want. Stop trying to act like you're just these simple creatures who, just feed me. Just, drink my nuts and just shut the hell up. But no, you need more than that. All right. So shouts out to everybody that supported, liked the video, shared it out. And I will see y'all on the next show. All right. Peace. Where is my tag on? Here we go.
The world is a real place where things aren't perfect. It's all about the journey. And where are you going? Fire in my eyes. I keep on growing. This is a LA project show.